Well, I've got something I think everyone's going to have fun with. These are the Golden Oldies. Now, this is a deluxe craft pad. I love this format that Hunkydory uses. And before we get into the webisode, let me just give you an idea of what you can make. We have this sweet lady on a scooter, and we're just going to open her up, and whoops, I've got a note on there. Okay, do that again. We'll open that up, and there you go. Isn't that fun? Well, please join us as we delve into the Golden Oldies and what Heidi has done with them. Okay, well, before we get into the projects, let me show you what this is about. Now, this format is the same format that's used, and it has these things that I'm going to tell you about. Now, is that kind of nebulous? But let me get into this. So what you're going to have is 4 sheets of foiled die cuts, and they're all named up at the upper corner, and we use that in the instructions too. And you can see some of them have multiple frames, there are greetings, lots of fun things on that. So this is one, this is a second one, and a third one, and a fourth one. So they're all different. Now, to coordinate with those, now some of these I have pulled out. There are Adorable Scoreable, which is Hunkydory's cardstock that is printed. And so there's 1, 2, and I'll be showing you 2 more. So there's 4. And then there's 4 that are foiled. So each one of these coordinates with the sheet that's got the die cuts. So there's the foiling, you see it right along there. And there's 2 more. Then there are inserts. Now there's 2 to match each of the foiled pieces. So here's the woman, there's 2 of those, that. So there's 1 each, but there's 2 of each design, okay? And there are 8 altogether. So what you'll always have is 4 sheets of foiled die cuts, 4 sheets of pattern cardstock, 4 sheets of foiled pattern cardstock, and 8 of the inserts. So all of those coordinate, and that's just wonderful. Okay, well, I'm going to start with what Heidi did on her first project, the one that I just showed you, the one that had the Post-it note inside. Okay, so for this, it is using that first sheet that I showed you. And these are called Forever Fabulous, and they certainly are. And what she has taken is the patterned cardstock. So this piece is going to become her card. So I'm going to take the one that she did here, I'm going to turn it over and give you the directions on how to make this. And that's pencil, so I'll tell you what it says. So you want to turn it over, keeping the little gal at the bottom of the sheet. So turn it over like this. Then you're going to measure from the left side 3.5 inches, and then you're going to score it. Now, Heidi recommends using the Adorable Scoreboard, which I heartily agree. That's going to make it super easy. So 3.5 inches, score. 5.5 inches, score. 7 3/8 of an inch, score. 9 1/4 inches, and score. Okay? 3.5, 5.5, 7 3/4, 9 1/4. All of those score lines. Then you're going to use the bone folder to accordion fold them. So the first one is going to go in a mountain fold, valley, mountain, valley, just like that. Now, you have used the bottom part of this to create that piece, but you've got the top part left. So Heidi cleverly used it, you see? So you're going to trim up to that piece, well, actually a little bit down from it to make your card, but you can use this. So just cut right along that edge, and she just turned it this way. Okay, so that's nice. That's going to work nicely. That's about 1/4 inch beyond that dark line. Okay, so that's going to let you use that whole piece, and you might want to make a note of that. So this piece, you're going to do it a little differently. That's what my Post-it was for. You're going to score it at 3.5 inches and at 7.5 inches, just 2 scores. and you're going to glue the straight ends to the top of the card. So one on the left, one on the right. This one just is free floating. And that way it's going to go like that. And this will fit in our 10 envelopes, by the way. So that's going to work. Now, the other thing that Heidi did that's very interesting to me is, I'm going to bring in that sheet again. So let me show you. So here is this piece that she used. So she broke out this outside frame and placed it onto this dotted purple. Now the dotted purple comes from our Dotted Duos #3. And this has got kind of secondary colors. So it's got purple, it's got a moss green. Well, you can see the colors there. So she used that, and it has a tiny dot on one side, and on the back side it's got a bigger dot. So she chose to use the bigger dots. So she put this frame right on the Dotted Duo paper and then just trimmed the paper to be equal to the frame. Then she glued it, and yes, it was just glued along the top, right here and right here. So you just just put your adhesive, probably extra sticky tape is going to work really nicely. That's the tape with the red liner, and just tape it there and there and there. So that's got your dot. Then she popped out this piece and offset it, foam taping it in place, which I thought was really cute. The Keep Enjoying Life in the Fast Lane, that's been foam taped. Then, as you know, Heidi, she wants to make a bow, but she wants to make it perfectly. So she's using the bow maker from Hunkydory. And she used the magenta and dark pink ribbon. So you can see that right there. Now, all through all of these cards, she used the gold studs. And I thought that was interesting. It's kind of nice because you get 72 pieces in this package, and they're going to work with all of these. So you can see that she's got one right there. Now, the other thing that she used is the pink border dazzles. Now, there are multiple borders here, as you can tell. And so she used this on the bottom of this and the bottom of this, just right along. And it will still fold and not pull apart. So that's great with dazzles. Okay, so that is how she did the front of her card and made her card, by the way. The next step is just on the inside. So she added another bow here. And you can see that this is a sheer bow, which this one is kind of a glimmer bow. Both of them are in the same package. And then added a stud right here and a stud right here. They are self-adhesive, so you're just popping them on. And that finishes our first card. It is the only female card that she made, which was kind of disappointing to me, but I thought it was really absolutely darling. So that works well. Okay, let's go to our next card, and we'll take care of this guy. And this is on the next sheet in the pack, and this is called Hearts Never Grow Old. Okay, so this has got a couple, which I think is just charming. And she's playing bingo. The only numbers worth worrying about, evidently, are bingos, some other greetings, and a little border. But this guy, okay, well, he is going to go on the card, but he's also matched with, this is the adorable scoreable. It's not the foiled, it is just the patterned. And you can see that this is the area that she really used. You can tell that this is a bingo one, but it's going to work well for him. So what she did is she's got her 5 by 6.5 inch card. Obviously the fold is up there. And she cut a piece just slightly smaller from the star area and glued that to her card. Then to go with this guy, she used brown glitter cardstock. This is the No Shed also. And die cut it with the oval cutting dies, and she used the largest oval that's scalloped and just foam taped that in place. And what's nice is that it fits perfectly under this frame. Okay, so that's the frame that actually this little guy came in, but look how she's placed them. She's got the frame going horizontally and this piece going vertically. So the frame is foam taped in place, and this is glued and then foam taped in the middle. Then she did use the gingham ribbon, and she didn't go with the brown. She went with the black, so that's your choice. And placed it here. Again, some studs on either end, and it's clear you see you've still got it. It's clear to see you've still got it. Yes, I'm not sure that he agrees, but okay. On the inside, here's what's going on. We've got this play of ovals like we have on the front. So she did die cut out another brown glitter, this time with just those smooth edges, and glued that down at the bottom, then placed this piece, which is 2 inches tall, over the top of it, also coming out of this piece. And then this is the middle frame from the toppers, so it's right there. She's placed this going up and down, so we've got this oval going sideways, that went up and down. And then she's got another oval of the greetings, and she's foam taped that, a circular one and a smaller one. Those two are foam taped. 2 more studs and another bow. So we've got this play of circles and ovals that are playing on the inside and on the front of our card. So very fun. I haven't seen that done before, and that's nice. Now our next one are these very, very happy beer drinking guys. And this is also using the patterned cardstock, which is the Adorable Squirrel, as just using this for the front of the card. So here is the piece, and she has her 5 by 6.5 inch card, and she has just cut this. So she's wanted to get the hops in the top there, so she started cutting there and went down to the guys right above this piece, so just right there, and just covered her whole card with that, and that worked nicely. Now what I thought was interesting, let me show you the whole piece. So this sheet is called Keep Laughing, and it also has ladies and gentlemen on it. So this is the guys that she's using, and notice this too has 3 pieces. So this is the center, a gold, and then this one, and then there's another little guy just by himself. So what she's done is she took that gold, that middle die, and our middle frame, and glued it down. Now notice it's in the upper right hand corner, so she wanted to be able to see these happy little faces, so she placed this there, and then she took the single guy and foam taped that in place. Now these are 2 with the greetings and with the beer glasses right here. Now instead of doing a bow, she did take the brown set of ribbon and just tied a knot and then cut a V in the end of each ribbon. And the way that you cut that V, just to make it easy, is fold it in half and then snip it at an angle, and that way you'll have a perfect V. You can do that on each end. So I would knot it first before you cut the tails, fold those, and then you can place them as you like. Just knot that in place. 2 more of the gold studs. I think you can see that. Then on the inside, okay, here's the one where she used the insert. So here's what the insert looks like. You see it's a duplicate of that pattern. So here's the pattern, guys on the left. Here's the insert, guys on the right. Same art, it's just ghosted back, which makes it work perfectly for the insides of your cards. So she trimmed that down, glued it on the inside. Now remember, when we went back to this piece, we've already used just the gold one. So she used the outside of it and attached that at the top, and then put this piece, foam taped it over to the right so it's offset. So she's used all 3 of these. She used a couple of those on the front, and she used another one right here to an old classic. Now here she did tie a bow with her bow maker, and 2 of the studs are placed right there. So this is the only one where she used the insert, and I was very glad to see that that happened. Okay, we have one more card, and this is a center step card. Let me get a piece of white underneath this just so that you can see it. very well. I'll take that tag off. Okay. Now, you can see that standing up. Now, what she used, this was really interesting to me. So she used our cutting die. This is a center step card. I will tell you these are in very, very, very short supply. We will next year be coming out with a center step plus card that's a little bit different, but these are, there aren't very many, so I just wanted to show you. These are cut in one piece, just like this. And as always, the directions are on the package and just tells you how to do it and how to fold it too, which is, kind of the deal about it. And let me show you. So when you get this die cut, it's going to look like this. It's going to have those score lines, and then you're going to make that a mountain, put the two shoulders as mountains. Down here are going to be valleys. There you go. And then another mountain. And then this is what the card looks like. So you've got a nice big space to create upon. I'm going to put this back. People tell us they love that these are solid because they're just quite sturdy, and we appreciate that, and that's what we do for you. So I'm going to tuck these back in, and it's really nice to be able to keep your die with the instructions so they're never going to get separated. Now for this, she cut it twice, or she used the die twice, I should say. The first time was with black glitter cardstock, and you can see the beautiful glitter on that, and there it is on the back. Now she also die cut a second one, but just pieces of it. So let me make that a little bit clearer. So she took, this is the foiled cardstock, foiled adorable scoreable. We're not really using him, but we are using this area. And she used this just on the inside. So you can place this just on the cutting die and run it through. You don't have to run it through all the way because, you don't want to mess that up because you can use that on something else. So just go to the score line and then bring your machine back. And then that way you'll have it. But she also used pieces of the blue and glued them over the steps. And you can see that this is going to go up about so far, and then you're going to have a piece of this left. So you can cut your blue here and then cut a blue here. And that way, as I said, you're saving the little guy on the motorcycle. Okay, so you've got your black, you've got these placed, and you've got this glued in place. Now, let me go to the sheet that's got all of the foil die cuts. And here it is. There's that scooter guy and others. Now we're working with this one. This called Let the Fun Begin. I'm not sure our guy's having a lot of fun, but nonetheless. Now the way that Heidi explained it in her instructions is she took this center guy and foam taped him in place, keeping him, he's about 1/2 inch from the fold of the card. Then she slipped the frame around him and secured that with extra sticky tape. Now let me show you that frame. Here is the frame. Obviously you're seeing it as a square here, and whenever you take a square and turn it on point, it becomes a diamond. So that's what she's done. She put that diamond around her guy who is not happy. He is not having a good time. Now there's a gold frame that's left, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. This piece, happy birthday, may you have many more, M-O-W-E-R. They are full of puns over at Hunkydory. That has been taped on top. More of the studs, as you can see. Then on the inside of the card, that's where the gold frame is. And that's been placed, as you see, just attached. Your application to the Grumpy Old Man's Club has been accepted, and that's been foam taped, and the many happy returns has been foam taped, and more of the studs, as you can see. So they're all really simple to make. And they have just such a charming, absolutely charming golden oldies on them. So there we go. Now I will tell you that there is a money saver on this golden oldies on the right hand side of your screen, as you would expect. And Heidi has written directions for each of her cards, which is always so handy, especially when I showed you that first one with pencil instructions or measurements. So you can see that they're just down below, and just click on the card. You'll see the instructions. You can print them off if you like. This is just very fun to have, and we had a webisode earlier with different images and different layouts. It wasn't a deluxe craft pad, but boy, I have to highly recommend these. Okay, if you are watching us on YouTube, I want to ask you if you'll please like us, if you will subscribe to us on YouTube, but then head on over to paperwishes.com. That's where you can get this. There is a money saver, so we have paired this with something that I don't remember at the moment, but it's there. It's on the right-hand side, and as I said, we have the directions down below. We do a lot with Hunkydory, and they just never cease to delight us, and this is certainly one of those ways. Okay, that's what we have. I want to thank you. Well, I want to thank Heidi to begin with for her creativity and sharing it with us. That's great. And I want to thank you for being an important part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.